what would you say is the biggest misconception building the business and launching, becoming visible, getting clients? What's that journey been like for you? That's like 2.5, 3 years ago now, when you started initially taking your first steps, creating the concept.
I think for me, for my situation specifically, like I said, I had a very successful corporate career, and then stepping into the business ownership and founding a business from scratch, really, it takes time. It takes a lot of time without necessarily seeing the results immediately. And I would say the biggest misconception is that it's going to be a successful business in 1 year. Because in corporate, you invest money in marketing, you throw money at a problem, and then you immediately see the results. But in a business, when you're a founder, it can take a very long time before it's able to provide you the same level of success and income that you had as a career.
Stop the battle within your soul. You know it's all in your head. Higher than the rain.
Hello and welcome back. This is episode number 2 of our interview with Samantha Flores from Nike. Well, now she's not at Nike anymore. And if you haven't listened to episode number 1, last week we posted that first part of our interview together. Samantha has built an incredible career. 19 years at Nike, up to executive level, recently ran a $2 billion business across EMEA. It's been just amazing talking to Samantha. We both know each other from a business coaching program that we both have been a part of over the last couple of years. And last week, Samantha shared with us how she strategically prepared over the last couple of years, step by step, how she built visibility, how she started to prepare for her next chapter. And now that she's stepped out of her corporate role fully and she's focusing on her business, she's now this week sharing with us her exact strategies, how over the last 1.5 years she strategically built an audience, a community, how she started to attract the right kind of people to her business and build her lead generation, which is incredibly important to be doing that alongside your business constantly. So Samantha shares the exact strategies she's used to build that step by step, and she's sharing it all with us, what worked, what hasn't worked, and how she's implemented it all, and how she's implemented it all, and what she's working on and testing now. So if you are someone that is leaving corporate to build your own service-based business, or you have left corporate already to build a business, or you are preparing for it, or you want to build alongside your corporate career, this is the right episode for you. Samantha shares how to build your business after 40 and how to do it in a way that doesn't expose you financially, and how to prepare really well for it. And we talk about all the misconceptions in today's episode, how building your own business is so very different to working alongside this amazing brand. Well, there's quite a few differences. And today she is sharing all of these insights and learnings with us. So without further ado, let's get into today's episode. Enjoy.
And so, especially for those listeners, I would say that are coming from corporate and are considering starting their own business, what I did always was being very, very disciplined at building a buffer or a nest egg. So there was a long time in my career before I had kids that whenever I got my salary, like 30 to 40% would immediately go to an investment account. And because I had that discipline, I now have the I would say, the luxury that I don't have that immediate pressure that the business has to succeed or fail and I need to go back to a job immediately. To your question, the misconception is that it will work immediately and be able to replace your corporate salary, or for me, that was the case. And then secondly, well, then how do you mitigate that? How can you start building those funds and that buffer in order to buy you the horizon until it does work? And then thirdly, what I'm excited to talk to you about, Mel, is then, well, it's not one or the other. What are some ways transition that you're not in a full-time corporate role and the business isn't there yet? What are some different ways to get income streams in order to still give you the space to build that business?
Yeah, I think that's been my learning as well. I also, your visibility journey is really interesting too, because they say that, but I don't think people realize it until it actually happens, how different everything is. Because when you come from corporate, even in marketing, I did a post about this recently, because you don't realize it is actually so much easier. It is so much easier.
Yes, it is. And you're triggering me now with that comment, Mel, because the biggest misconception, indeed, to speak on behalf of Nike, to show my work at Nike, of course, easy peasy. Look at me being fabulous. Look how wonderful I am as a senior director at Nike. Zero issues with bragging. But then when you are a business owner or a founder, all of a sudden it's you. You have to sell you. And that brings so much shit up. So the biggest misconception actually isn't the time. It is having to daily face yourself in the mirror and saying, no, I believe in my business. I'm here to help people. And the only way to help people is if people know what I do. And then putting yourself out there and knowing that there will be people that are going to think you're crazy, that are going to judge you, and having to overcome that and still keep going. Because it's not about maybe the 80% who judge you, it's the 20% that you can help. Yeah. So yeah, that's the biggest misconception. Yes. If I can do it for corporate, I can do it for myself. It's not that easy.
I would go almost as far to say that women have an easier game launching and building a business if they've never stepped into a corporate space where they've worked with big brands like we have.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because they don't know better, right?
Because there's no comparison going on and you've never been somewhere, I always say it's like I've been hiding behind corporate spaces and big brands.
And it's like the safety nets. You have like a big corporation, big powerful corporation behind you. And now where's the safety net? You are your safety net. So yeah.
Yes. Yeah, and I think it's also important for listeners to take a moment to reflect now on where are they at within their journey and have they started building, have they strategically thought of a year down might not work out? Have you got the safety and the security and the comfort for your nervous system to
very important. Very important.
Yes.
Yeah.
We're running out of time.
We could go on and on.
I know. I told you before, this is very hard for me. To such a short time. With you building your business, a Powerhouse Code now, obviously we've learned in our business coaching, one of the most essential things is lead generation.
Yes.
So how are you tackling that?
Oh man, I could talk about this all day. So I started back in 23 and the first time that I ran ads was in 24. And I remember the first time I ran ads, Mel, my leads were like 60 euros a lead and all of that. But in 25, because of the business coaching that I got and just, doing it and getting it out there, I have successfully run ads and built and reached 1,200 people over the course of the past year through ads on Facebook. Because I see so many people spend time on LinkedIn and Instagram, which I'm doing, of course, as well, but it's not going as quickly. And so I'm focusing on the two areas. One is, of course, continue building my presence and visibilities on socials. And on the other hand, using meta ads specifically to accelerate that process. Mm-hmm. Because like I said, it takes time, and starting from scratch, I just don't have that, don't have that, that pool of leads. So I complemented it with Facebook ads, which I thought was very scary in the beginning. But now I'm obsessed with Facebook ads because I'm a numbers person, and just being able to see what the lead costs, what it brings, and then also what creative they're how do you say? Like responding to me is just amazing. And then my next plan is to get out more live in person with keynotes, panels, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah. But it has been mostly digital so far, yes. So on social.
So if you say meta ads and lead generation through that, if we talk specifics, what do you advertise? Do you advertise your business? Did you pick a lead magnet, so to speak, like something that people can engage with, that's giving them value? What exactly did you do?
So the past year, I have been running masterclasses, bi-monthly masterclasses. And then with the meta ads, they can sign up for the masterclass, and then they get a taste of my methodology, let's say, and whether that's something that they are into or that can help them. So that has been my mechanism. I went straight into masterclass and then client. And now that I've had 1.5 years really of data and experience, I'm dialing it back now and starting with the lead magnet, which funnily enough, I did not have for the past 1.5 years. So I went straight into masterclasses. So I'm now going back to the beginning, starting with a lead magnet and then build from there.
So as a coach, leadership coach, obviously, what kind of lead magnets are you looking at, like in 2026? Because obviously things change quite a lot. Yes. And AI has disrupted the coaching space and holistic business coaching space quite a lot. So what are you thinking?
I've been thinking about this a lot, Mel, and I'm obviously also a consumer of lead magnets and workshops and masterclasses. So what my aim now is to give the lead or the prospect a personalized experience for where she is at. And so it will be a type of diagnostic of assessment to see, hey, what is she missing in her career that her boss will not tell her, that her performance review will not tell her. It will be interactive as well. So not an ebook, et cetera, but really a personalized diagnostic and experience. So she understands what are those elements that I'm missing that is preventing me from getting to the next level. Because what I see in my masterclasses as well is the customer journey is so important. You have people who are looking for a coach and they come in there and they say, okay, you're my girl. And then you have people who feel stuck, have no idea where to start, don't know where they need to go. And then the masterclass is too advanced. So I'm dialing it back, starting with a diagnostic, which is a personalized experience, and then lead them to the customer journey.
Yes. That's a very nice insight into how you're working. And is that something you can share with Mama What's Next listeners as well?
Yes, I am working on it. So it will be in the show notes once it's ready.
Okay.
Because it's under construction and I'm really excited about it because it's going to be interactive instead of just absorbing more information.
Sounds great. Absolutely. Like I'd be happy to include that.
Yes.
One important question still with regards to the visibility strategy you've used. Yes. When you decided, you've obviously done social, like when you decided to go and do social media, why did you think it was necessary? Why did you not go straight to keynotes? Why Instagram? Why now LinkedIn? And did you have like a proper strategy in place straight away? How do you produce your content? How do you get it all done? You're only one person, you're a mom.
Yes, Mel, I could talk about this forever and ever and ever because one day I'm like, yes, my social media strategy is working. And the other day is like, oh my God, I can't do this. So why did I choose social media over keynotes? Purely because I had a full-time job. I'm a mom, like you said, and that was a way to reach as many people as possible. without having to physically be in another space. So that was reason number one. And reason number two is, well, actually between Instagram and LinkedIn, Instagram, because I felt like I could more authentically express myself there. Like I said, when I started out, I was still a senior leader at Nike. And so there is some level of filter. And I did not feel that at that time at LinkedIn, I could fully authentically express myself while I was still on the payroll of Nike. That's why I started on Instagram. Now I'm moving more towards LinkedIn, but that's still a struggle and a half, Mel, to be very honest, because I also do advisory work for corporate clients. And so there's this element of, okay, how much of my content is focused on the leadership element and how much of the content is focused on me being an advisor and fractional executive. So that's a different story for a different time. And coming back to your question, the content strategy. So I started my podcast October of last year, and that's working really well for me, that I use that as the core content and use that to distribute it across the platforms. So for example, one podcast episode can turn into 5 to 10 pieces of short form content for Instagram, for example. Talking head reels, carousels, etc., etc. Now, I am a long form person. I love long, deep conversations. I am not a short form person per se, but what I do like about Instagram is this unfilteredness of Instagram. I feel like Instagram is a platform. It's okay not to be perfect. And on LinkedIn, I feel LinkedIn is very business-like, very, I don't know, polished.
Staged?
Yeah, staged and polished, So I'm actively working on being a disruptor and not always be staged and polished on LinkedIn. But when I see the post on LinkedIn, I'm like, I'm going to go to Instagram for some realness, So yeah, that's, but the audience lives on LinkedIn, but they scroll in the weekend on Instagram. So it's really look for, people listening, thinking about their strategy. What's the ROI? So what is the Instagram giving you and what is LinkedIn giving you in terms of clients?
Yeah, exactly. Where are your people, essentially? Where are the people? And I feel also with regards to authentic marketing and branding, authentic visibility is really important, especially, if you're building something new, to do it where you feel comfortable. There's no point going anywhere that makes you look, ooh. But like, for example, LinkedIn, I don't know, not really compatible. It's always been like that. I try, but it's...
It doesn't sound as,
Yeah. And that's not even just because of the corporate, but it's just as a platform, like I just don't feel I can be as like natural and straight out and unscripted as I want to be sometimes.
And you know what the thing is, Mel? Because I have exactly the same with LinkedIn, and I hate people who have a mask, right? So I honestly, even though my posts and my content there is more filtered and more polished, I really aim to be as authentic as possible. And I have noticed whenever my posts are raw and I share my journey of doubt, of all the things, I get so much more engagement and people in my DM saying, wow, that really resonates. And so I don't know why people on LinkedIn are polished. Well, I know why, but I'm just saying people connect with authenticity, with the struggles, and with the behind the scenes of that polished profile.
Yeah.
So I'm making a case to be more authentic and unpolished on LinkedIn.
Yes, I love it. Maybe I'll give it another try then. I'll try a little bit harder then. Just the last question, so we come to the end of it. Like there was one thing that stood out to me in the beginning of the conversation about your goal-oriented focus, because that's something that I read in a book once. They had done analysis and research about the most successful people in the world, and the one thing they had all, together in common. Was they always knew where they wanted to go, because without that goal,
Yeah.
You can perform well and you can do
Yeah.
your thing and you can, even get to the next position. But
Yeah.
I feel
Yes.
that's a key insight from today's conversation, isn't
Yes.
it?
I always say you cannot score without a goal.
Yeah.
And with the women that I work with, they feel stuck, they feel stagnated, and I feel like they're not progressing. But when I ask them, okay, what do you want? They can really articulate that.
Mm-hmm.
They can articulate what they don't want. They don't want a shitty manager anymore. They don't want to feel like they're waking up every Monday and doing the same thing. They don't. But then what do you want? And it's only when you do know what you want, then you can go get it. That's number one. And the other one, Mel, in my 19 years in corporate and my daily struggles now in business ownership is belief. The belief that you can actually reach your goal. Because I struggle. I'm like, okay, going back to corporate is 10 times easier than every day continue to show up for a business that's building. And so it comes back to that belief. So I am completely confident that my business will be successful. It could take 10 years, it could take 5, it could take 2. But that belief together with that knowing your goal is, I think, what separates the successful from the non-successful.
Yes. Oh, that's a great one to share and for people to hear, especially because so many are in the same space. Samantha, just the last question. What do you want to be known for now that you're building in your new next chapter, in your second act?
Yes. So this is a long answer. I'm going to keep it short. What I want to be known for is that, you can have whatever you want in your life. To be really honest, Mel, I see so much pain and suffering in the workplace of people feeling that they don't have another option. And so Powerhouse Code goes way beyond getting women into those leadership seats. It's actually about showing others that you can have a life that is truly and completely aligned to you, and that you don't have only one path or only one option.
Samantha, just quickly, where can we find you?
Yeah, so we'll link it up in the show notes. Instagram is a good place if you want the unfiltered version, and if you're into polished profiles, LinkedIn is your place to go.
Okay, we'll share all the details in the show notes. Thank you so much, Samantha.
Bye, Mel. Bye.
Hello and welcome back. Okay, here is what you are walking away with from today's episode. So, to summarize, your performance review will not get you the promotion. Samantha said it plainly. The belief that working harder and getting great results automatically moves you up the ladder is one of the biggest things keeping smart, capable women exactly where they are. It's visibility and positioning that are the game plan. That is what she had to learn, and it changed everything for her. That internal script running during the big meeting, that is really costing you. Samantha talked about how women walk into a room with senior leaders and are simultaneously trying to present, second guess themselves, manage their manager's potential reaction, and question whether they even belong there. By the time all of that plays out, the meeting's over. Recognizing that script is the first step to shutting it down. Knowing what you do not want is not the same as knowing what you want. The women Samantha works with can tell you in detail what they are done with. The Monday morning dread, the manager who does not see them, the feeling of going nowhere. But when she asks what they actually want, there's silence. And that clarity is where everything starts, and where you hit, and where you go. And that clarity is where everything starts. Building a business when you come from corporate takes longer than you think. And the hardest part is not strategy. Samantha was refreshingly honest about the mindset work, showing up publicly for yourself, building visibility strategically, putting your name out there, your face out there with no brand behind you. It's a real big challenge. The strategy is the easy part. it's the mindset work that takes much longer than you anticipate. The buffer is not optional. Samantha spent years putting 30 to 40% of her salary into an investment account before she had children. That discipline is what gave her the time and space and calm nervous system to build something real without the pressure of needing to work immediately. She did not wait until she was leaving to think about it. You cannot score without a goal. Her words, and they really landed with me. The women who move forward are the ones who actually say out loud what they are moving toward, not just what they are running from. So keep that in mind. Make sure you become very crystal clear about the goals that you want to hit and where you want to go and what you want to achieve for yourself. Even if that's not the goal that everybody else has on their agenda. Yours might look completely different to mine. But yet, it's important that you get clear on where you want to go and what you want to build and the type of life and work that you want to create for yourself. So, thanks so much for joining me and us for today's conversation. Really happy that you're here. As always, I really appreciate if you hit the subscribe button so that you get all the episodes, you don't miss anything, and I will see you back here next week. Thank you so much for joining me. And if you're in a similar journey, and if you are at a similar point in your career journey now and you need help with your visibility strategy, you need help articulating what you do, positioning yourself, and creating an easy visibility system that doesn't run on AI, but it runs on conversation, just like I do here with the podcast, in a very authentic way, building authentic visibility and using that type of positioning and messaging to build your own holistic business, your own practice, then I'm so incredibly happy to be supporting you. So please do reach out, and I would love nothing more than to help and support. So with that said, I will see you back here next week. Thanks so much. Bye. If you're in a similar journey, and if you are at a similar point in your career journey now and you need help with your visibility strategy, you need help articulating what you do, positioning yourself, and creating an easy visibility system that doesn't run on AI, but it runs on conversation, just like I do here with the podcast, in a very authentic way, building authentic visibility and using that type of positioning and messaging to build your own holistic business, your own practice, then I'm so incredibly happy to be supporting you. So please do reach out, and I would love nothing more than to help and support.